So I was just having a conversation with someone, and we were talking about kind of healing processes in general, and they were talking about how they were working on figuring it out in some way, and really coming at it from an understanding from the mind, sort of intellectualizing it. And I know that this is something that I have done and probably still do, but it makes me wonder how many times we feel like we have to intellectualize something before we can just experience what we need to in order to move energy, to become freer within our own energetic bodies, even freer in our mind, because we feel like we have to understand it first. And this ties in beautifully with a reading that I did for someone earlier this week. And an interesting thing about this reading is that for the first time, I felt like the records stopped what they were saying, because the person, and I had a reading about this later to also confirm for myself, but there was no room for the person to take in the information that I was giving, and they wanted to understand it mentally instead of just being open to what the records had to say. And it came through that this person was really insulating themselves from hearing specific things about themselves, and that they're not in a place to take that information in right now. But the records did say that there was an energetic trickle that still came into the reading that will offer some energetic shifts for this person, both on an intellectual level and even a heart-opening level, and allow for this to happen at some point in the future. But yeah, that was very interesting to feel it within myself, and the records be like, yeah, let's just stop right here and move on to something else, because this person is starting to feel anxious and cannot stay in curiosity about the information coming through. They want it to make sense. They want it to be a story, a tangible story, and it wasn't in the moment. This anxiety that was coming up in this person, the indication that they were giving on the outside is just, they just kept saying, no, that's not me. I don't relate to that. And when I hear somebody's not relating to the information, I always check in with the records and see if there's something else that needs to come through, or in a different way, or why they're not resonating. And I just kept getting the same information from the records, showing me that this person was insulating themselves. And I still encourage anyone to use their own discernment in any type of reading, that if you feel that it is not for you, then maybe it isn't. It's also why I reconfirmed with a reading that I received from the records a couple of days later, that the information coming through were true, at least true in the moment, energetically true, and they did confirm that. I love having these experiences in the Akashic Records when something new and different comes through and teaches me something, because it always does, and it's what keeps the records so interesting to me and motivated to keep doing these readings and inspired. And I just would invite you, and myself, of course, always, to see where in your life, or where in your conversation, where in your thoughts are you getting stuck and feeling like you need to know what an answer is, or know what an experience is, or what it's going to be or feel like, instead of just being in the experience. What would that open up for you if you could let go of the need to know and just be in the experience?